to the Cannons and Tomahawks podcast, presented by Belly Up Sports. All things hockey, all the time. And now, here are your hosts, two washed-up beer leaguers who have no idea what they're talking about, Zach Martin and Alex Nuttall.
What's up, everyone? It is Zach and Alex back with the Cannons and Tomahawks podcast. And we are back with another ranking series. Today, we are doing the Reverse Retro Jerseys. Zach, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing good, man. I'm really excited for this series. I've been looking forward to it for the last couple weeks, trying to come up with our lists, looking at the jerseys, trying to have a good ranking system and stuff like that. Because we got a lot of good reviews back from our ones we did for all the home jerseys. And everyone really wants to do the reverse retros. And I've been really looking forward to this list because some of them are really good, some of them bad, but I'm excited. But how are you doing? How are you doing, man?
Doing good. Ready to see what kind of ridiculous rankings we have, to be honest.
There's some interesting ones for sure. Not gonna lie. There's some egregious differences in some of our jerseys where we have them on our rankings, but But it should be a fun time for sure.
All right. Well, without further ado, let's get cracking. 31.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, 31. I have the beloved Detroit Red Wings. There's not much to this. It's a practice jersey with a little sniffle of gray on it, and that's it. They forgot that they were doing this. They turned their homework in, and they didn't do anything. The teacher told them to put their name on it, so they slapped a logo and called it a day. This thing sucks.
Yeah, and if you even look at the numbers too, like there's not even like piping around the number. It just looks like it's like an adhesive number you just throw on at the last second. It's like there's no design on the shoulders. It's just basically just white, splash of gray and red.
Yeah,
it's like they almost forgot that they, like you said, had an assignment due, and it was like 3 minutes before class started. And they just scribbled some stuff down, and this is something we give like an F- on, like, and just be like, you just why even turn this in? You might as well just gotten a 0. Yeah, that's how bad it is.
You're in high school. You're getting kicked out of college for this.
Yeah, for sure. So my 31 was the Dallas Stars one, and outside of the star piping that they have on the jersey, it's if you take that away, it's basically what the Red Wings almost did, because it's just white with some green, and that's really about it. Like the piping is just, it's not, that's the kind of the only thing that makes a difference out of the two. But even like around the Stars logo, it's just, you can barely even see the stars.
Yeah,
because it's so tan. And like, there's no border around the star part. If you look at it, just says Dallas, then you kind of see stars, and that's about it. But
like, I see what they were trying to do, honestly, but they didn't do it well. There's too much white, and it just doesn't look good to me.
Yeah, because they were trying to go back to the 90s when they first moved to Dallas, and it's just, I see what they were trying to do, going back to the 90s versions, but yeah, just like all white around the main logo part, and it's just the star pipe. No, it just doesn't do it for me. So my 30 is the Red Wings. I thought about putting them 31, but it's like, you know what? It's really a toss-up between Dallas and Detroit. I just said Dallas just because it's like, if you take away that, it's just a really just blah jersey, and so. Same thing for Detroit's.
Yeah,
it was a toss-up for me.
So
you could have gone either way with those.
Oh yeah. So my 30 was the New York Islanders, and
I'm really curious for this one because.
So I have a specific reason. Okay. You're wanting to do the reverse retro, correct?
Yes.
This is the exact same jersey they have with a darker shade of blue. You have a perfect opportunity to go back to the fisherman, and you don't do that. Everybody wanted that to happen, and you don't do that. You use the same jersey that you have and just have a darker shade of blue and call it reverse retro. No.
And the white and the orange is a little bit thicker, and that's really about it. I get it. I guess for me, I kind of dig these more. I have them farther down my list, or I guess more up on my list, depending on how you're looking at it. But I see where you're coming from. I don't know. For me, I think for me, I like the look of this a lot. But I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
yeah.
It doesn't look like everybody else's jerseys are so different, and they look, it has that retro feeling. The Islanders, it just doesn't have that feeling to me.
Yeah, like you said, it's just a darker blue, and that's really about it.
Yeah,
and the collar is different because on the main ones, it looks like there's kind of like a dent inside, like I guess you could call the Pentagon on the ones, their current ones. This one's more filled in, where it's just one strong band.
Yeah,
of orange. So I think the collar is mostly in the, like I said, even the orange and the white on the sleeves and the bottom of the jersey are a little bit thicker. So
for my 29, I have the Anaheim Ducks.
Okay.
Another opportunity to use the Mighty Duck, and you don't really do it very well. It looks like a children's jersey, and the Mighty Duck that you should have used is a tiny logo on the jersey of the animated duck that's breaking out of the ice. Now, it's kind of a cool logo, but I don't like this jersey at all.
Yeah, it's basically what their alternate was back in the 2000s, when this was their alternate jersey compared to the actual Mighty Ducks jersey. So they kind of went back to an alternate, but kind of updated the alternate. And that's really because all I did was the flying duck. That was really about it. I mean, It's solid. I have it, like I said, I have a little bit farther than you, but yeah, you kind of miss an opportunity to use the Anaheim, the actual Mighty Duck logo, not the flying duck. But it is what it is. Yep. So I see what they were trying to do, but it's like, once again, the Ducks are not capitalizing on the Mighty Duck logo that everyone loved in the 90s. But
and still loves to this day.
Yeah, everyone wants it back, and they, for some reason, just can't figure out how to get it correct. So, Anaheim being Anaheim. My 29 is the Vegas Golden Knights, and some people are probably going to not agree with me, and I get that. It's just, I know you don't. It's just all the red, because you're so used to the Golden Knights being just the gold with the gray, the white, and the black, and it's just all that extra red. Because I know their alternate logo is it's that little bit of that red star accent inside the main star with the swords. I get what they're trying to do. I just don't know. Just the gold collar onto the red jersey, and then like the gray, gold, black V-shaped thing they got going on. It's just I guess just the gold on red just doesn't really work for me. And the logo's okay, but I just think that's way too much, I guess, red for me.
Yeah,
it's weird having like your fourth color as your main color for this jersey. If they went with like a black jersey, then I would put it in a different spot. But I think just having your fourth color, which is red, as your main color, it just looks odd to me, in my opinion.
I actually think, now that you say that, it'd be cool. So on that jersey, if the black at the bottom was red, and then all the red and the main part was black,
exactly,
kept the logo, and you could do a red outline of the logo and the numbers, that'd be sick.
Exactly. See, that's what I was thinking too. Like, yeah, instead of having the black accent around the logo, make that red. Make the jersey black. Make the black on the bottom red. Boom. Then you're talking a top 10 jersey.
Yeah.
But for me, just looking at it, it's just too much red for a team that really has a really small amount of red in their main jerseys to begin with.
Yeah.
I think they kind of missed an opportunity to use the black, because you could have made a really sick, like, a Black Knights, Golden Knights type thing going on. Of course, because you have Henderson being the Silver Knights. It's just, it's just, I don't know, for me, it's just the red. It's too much. So my 28, it's basically, we're pretty much the same on this one. So I guess we can just basically just talk about it. It's Nashville Predators.
It's a disgusting mustard yellow, and they brought that ugly color back, and I don't like it. It looks dumb. Yeah,
the thing for me, like, I love the V shape on the sleeve, because the fact that you have the all white on top, and you have the blue trim going from the neck down the sleeve. Then you kind of have like a bigger set of blue underneath because it's like white, the trim blue, the yellow, more blue than like the white collars. It's like that look is good, but for whatever reason, it's like it's just that yellow, and it's like it's not really. Would you even call it a reverse? Because it's kind of like almost the same design. It's just they maybe just did the sleeves a little bit different. I guess you could throw it back to like their somewhat original jerseys, but it's Nashville, man. It's just that yellow. It's like you could have gone maybe if they did like we talked about with Vegas, make the main jersey blue, did the yellow as the bottom of the jersey, and on the kind of make the like where on the sleeve on the bottom of the sleeve near the collar or the wrist, make that yellow and have the main portion of that blue. Then it's a different story, but it's just another yellow Predators jersey with just different sleeve color accents around it.
Yeah, I'm just for some reason I'm not a fan. You know, they hype this up so much with these reverse retros, and then your reverse retro is the same damn color as your regular jersey.
Yeah, or your thirds, or your alternates, or basically or your color. Yeah, it's just wherever it is for national. Even like their outdoor jerseys, it's always yellow. Like I don't like Nashville. Like they used to have a blue jersey, and those actually look nice. It's like bring more blue. Like I don't know why Nashville is so hung up on this yellow. Like it's yellow. It's everything yellow for these guys, and I just don't understand it.
So coming in 27, I have the Dallas Stars. You know, like we talked a little bit before, I find it better than the other ones, but it's still not great. It's a spaceman costume, and it's dull. You know, other than the black and green piping on the bottom, it's boring. I'm sorry, it's boring.
That's kind of why I put it 30, because if you take that's why I put it last, because if you take away that striping, like that star stripe that I call it, or the star piping, it's basically Detroit's, but with just green. Yep. And I think that's kind of what made me not like that more than Detroit's, because Detroit's, it's like, okay, it is what it is. But Dallas, if you take away that little element, it's just that it looks just bad. It's just bad.
I think one of the things that put it up to 27 instead of 30 or 31 is how they are utilizing the star as part of the A. It's one of those things. I like how they have that. I just wish they would have had a little bit more color and designing on the jerseys. Other than that, it's
like
not exciting.
Yeah, like maybe make like the main logo, have some more black around the logo. Make this like how they wrote out stars. Make that black instead of like that tannish color. Then we're talking. Then it's a different story. But it's just a lot of white with some piping. That's really about it. So my 27 is the Edmonton Oilers. I guess they're trying to throw it back to the 80s designs. For me, it just kind of looks like their normal away jerseys. Maybe the stripes on the bottom and the sleeves are a little bit different. Maybe it's more spaced out. But for me, it's just another Edmonton Oilers, very blah-ish design of stripe, like the same amount of stripes on the bottom, same stripes on the sleeves, different color on the top with the blue piping. It's just like I said, it just looks like another Edmonton Oilers away jersey, and they just maybe did the stripes a little bit different.
Yeah,
that's really about it.
This is, I think this is a situation where the oil drop would have been on the gear, would have been a perfect opportunity for this. But no, I see where you're coming in. We have it in a different spot, but I still kind of like the jersey. But it is a little on the boring side, and it's just. Seems like it's just another jersey.
Yeah, that's basically what we said about for Nashville. It's just another Oilers road jersey that's pretty much maybe a tad different. And they said, oh, it's reverse retro. And you're looking at it, it's like, okay, it looks like it's just another jersey that you've probably had in your collection. That's the same thing with Nashville. It's just another yellow jersey with different sleeve design.
Yep.
Whoa.
Looks just the same.
Yep. So for 26, we have another same jersey, and Clark from the RP show and Squadcast, these guys might have a different say on this, or they might agree with us. I don't know, but we have the Toronto Maple Leafs at 26, and oh man, I would have to say this: the logo is somewhat nice. It is a little bit different compared to the normal ones they actually do have, but the sleeves are kind of a no. and the big block of gray at the bottom, and the fact that the back of the jersey, if you look at, because you're only seeing the front and the sleeves. If you look at the numbers and the names on the back of these jerseys, how it's all blue and it's really hard to see. That's what makes it super rough on these jerseys.
Yeah.
If you look at the back of these are really bad. Really bad.
For me, it's one of the things. Side note, I love how in this picture, when Adidas released these, this chick looks like she's wearing a nightgown. It's huge.
Yeah.
And that it just automatically looks awkward to me, but the coloring, I don't mind. I like the logo, but everything else is hideous. The sleeves are super boring. I mean, it's ridiculous. There's too much gray at the bottom. The blue numbering on the back, like, come on, you guys couldn't have even thought of, hey, I don't know, let's make them gray so it stands out. Nope. All right, sweet.
Yeah.
Whatever.
If you look at the captain's seat, it's almost blending into the jersey. Besides, outside of that white piping, which they did for the numbers on the back. Yeah, it's just super rough. And I think even Steve Dangle and the guys from the Steve Dangle podcast even said too, like, it is super hard for the announcers to know who's who because the numbers are so hard to read on the back of those jerseys.
I can imagine.
Yeah, I mean, like you said too, like the sleeves, it's just a two-tone color, no real design. It looks like they just drew a straight line on the sleeve and made them two colors. And they like the bottom gray part, they could have broken it up a little bit or done something different, but it's just outside of the logo, this jersey is just it's not as bad as the others, but I think because the logo kind of saves it for me why it's not farther down my list because it's different compared to the normal ones they've done. But everything else about this is just super, super rough to look at for this jersey.
So for 25, I have the Pittsburgh Penguins.
Okay, this one is probably one of my first egregious ones that you've picked, but I'm curious to see why this one is so down on your list because I have this super high on mine, but I'm really curious to see what you're.
It looks just like a normal Pittsburgh alternate jersey. There's nothing special about it. They've had jerseys exactly like this before, and it's nothing different. You know, obviously the striping is a little bit different and things like that, but it's everyone else is going for the most part, minus Detroit, using creativity and different ideas and designs. And Pittsburgh just is, oh, well, I'm just going to put Pittsburgh on here. Okay.
Well, that was one of their jerseys they had back in the 90s and 2000s, and I get what they were trying to do with it, because this is the definition of a reverse retro because of the fact that they've gone back and used a design they've done that Pittsburgh across the front like that before, and which was solid. And I think this is another solid one too. I mean, I think this is a pretty phenomenal jersey. I get what you're saying. It's because we said earlier, other jerseys, it's just another prototypical insert team's name jerseys, but with Pittsburgh, I think this one is just super clean. I like the design of it. I like how the lettering across the front and the shadowing and stuff like that, and the design. I just think it looks like a clean jersey, and you won't really hear me, brag about Pittsburgh jerseys in general because from Ohio, but I don't know. This Pittsburgh Penguins went in. I think it's a solid jersey in my opinion.
Yeah,
but I get what you're saying, but I don't know. I think it's just for me, it's just super clean.
Yeah.
So my 25 is the Winnipeg Jets, and man, I think because I love how the fact they went with the old Winnipeg Jets logo, and when we had Winnipeg Sports Talk on the show just recently, and they said it's growing on them, and it's almost like the Maple Leafs jersey, but there's just that third color on the sleeve. It's not just blue and gray. It's got that blue, white, and gray on it. But the logo is just you really miss an opportunity to go back to the original Winnipeg Jets red, blue, white jersey. Like it was, you think of Solani and all those guys. If they did that, this is definitely top 5 in my opinion. But right now, it's just this one. It's almost like I said, it's almost like Toronto's. It's just piping right down the whole front of on the sleeves. It's 3 different colors, and they just call it a day. I mean, the gray is nice, but you really missed an opportunity to go back to the original Jets colors.
Yeah,
that would have made this pop so much better. But
for sure,
it's not the worst, but it's not the best either. So that's why I have it at 25. 24, and a lot of people were kind of clowning me and asking, "Oh, we're going to put St. Louis last and blah blah blah." And no, I mean, I am trying to take my bias out of it. I'm looking at jersey designs. I said it's the St. Louis Blues. It's basically just like their old school jerseys, like this one, where it's more red than the blue. It's like all they did was really just swap the colors on a classic jersey that they've done before, where it was mainly blue with the yellow, then it turned into the red.
I mean, to be fair, reverse retro. So they did is just swap it.
Yeah. Like I said, it's just they did follow the reverse. It is an old school and it's retro. It's for I see what they were trying to do. They were trying to play into the reverse retro name and changing the swapping the colors and stuff, and use the old St. Louis Blues logo. But it's not the worst jersey, but it's definitely not a top 20. There's one, I guess the ones before are just really bad. This one is just, you don't think of the Blues with so much red because they're all about blue and yellow, and having that much red just doesn't do it.
Yeah.
You don't think of the Blues as a red jersey team.
So for my 24, I have the Tampa Bay Lightning. And
this was the other one. I was like, okay, I want to hear the reason behind this one.
Now, a couple reasons. Really, it looks just about exactly like the jerseys they had in about 02 to 05-ish.
Yeah. But
there's so much white. I don't like the massive white blocks at the bottom of the sweater and the sleeves. It's too much for me.
You know what? You saying that now, yeah, I am noticing all that white. And because if you look back at the original ones that they had, like you said, these ones, like when they won the cup and all that, it wasn't that outrageously white at the bottom. Now looking at it, it's like, yeah, they could have. What'd you say? Take about like half of that white out.
If they would cut it in half, this would probably have gone up 6 or 7 spots for me.
Yeah, or maybe do like a wave design at the bottom or something or like a.
Honestly, what they could have done is, and I think this would have been cool. So cut it down to about a quarter of what it is, and then on top of that white block, get like a white lightning design that goes around on top of it around the entire bottom of the jersey, and there you go.
That actually would probably been pretty sweet, honestly. Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, if they cut that down, made more of a lightning pattern at the bottom, I think that would have been Then you're talking a lot higher. I get what you're saying. I do have them higher on my list, but looking at it now, that white is just. It almost looks like you're wearing like cuffs.
Yeah.
At the bottom, like it's almost like your undershirt is too much longer than your shirt that's on top.
Yeah,
it's difference.
I don't know, just something about it. Looking at it, I just don't like it. That's all.
I got you.
So
understandable.
Coming in at 23, I have the Boston Bruins, and
okay,
it's one of those things that they use the stereotypical Bruins logo, which there's nothing wrong with it, but it's not the worst jersey out there. I mean, I like it for the Bruins. I can't stand the Bruins, but that doesn't really play into this. It's just one of those things that on this, I think it's almost too much yellow. And it's like the sleeves. I like the piping on the sleeves, the white cuffs, how it's a little bit different on the bottom of the body of the sweater, but it's just one of those things that you could have used either the Bear logo or one of their other logos that they have, and you just go with the pinwheel again.
Yeah, I mean, I do have them higher on my list. Yeah, if they maybe went with like the old Adam Oates blue with the big Bruin head on the front, not the one that's on the sleeve, but you know what I'm talking about, the other big Bruin head they used to have back on the Adam Oates, all those jerseys. I think that with this, I think that definitely be, like I said, I have them way higher on my list, but I get what you're saying. It's if they're gonna use that B, I think they should have went back to like maybe like the 40s style when it was like the actual brown and yellow, not the black and yellow Bruins, where it was like more of like a fancier cursive B. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
If you go look it up, there's another B that has a different design to the logo of it, and that's when they were more like brown and yellow. If they had that style lettering, I think that would have been a lot better. But I mean, I get what you're saying. If they did a different logo in the middle, yeah, then I can see why you would probably put that higher, but I get it. So for 23, I have the Philadelphia Flyers. For me, it's basically they took their jerseys that they've done before, where it was more black in the middle, or basically how it is now, but instead of the black on the sleeves, like with these ones, it's just white on their main ones. It's kind of like they just swapped colors on the sleeves and made like the sleeve design a little bit different. And plus, honestly, that white covering from the elbow area down to this, to the end of the jersey, I think it's a little bit too much white in my opinion.
Yeah, they could have cut that in half and thrown some orange at the bottom there, and it would have looked a lot better.
Yeah, or they take like instead of taking the top half of the white, take the bottom half of that white from from your wrist up about halfway. Yeah, you change that to orange, then it's a different story. It's kind of like they took that instead of taking like that black they have on the reverse retros. It's if you look at their normal ones where it's all white, basically they just made it black instead. And it's just like I said, the bottom of that sleeve is it's so much white. Like if you look at it next to the Bruins one is not as egregious to look at compared to these Flyers ones, where it's just like it's almost like your ink cartridge ran out of black and it just came all white.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And that's how I compare it. It's just like it looks like your ink ran out on your printer.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. So for 22, I have the Anaheim Ducks jersey. Basically, talk about when you had them, farther down on your list. They kind of missed the mark. I mean, I know what they were trying to do, trying to go back to the flying duck like as they did before. But yeah, you gotta go with the old school duck helmet logo and call it a day and just go back to what made people really love the Ducks back in the day. And it's just unfortunately, in my opinion, really missed out on a golden opportunity.
Yeah. So my 22, I have the Flyers, and as Zach was just talking about, there's just something about it. So I think the top half I actually like quite a bit. So from the bottom of the logo up, how they have the white around the upper part of the chest, and I actually don't mind that at all. It's just there's the white on the sleeves is what I am drawn to looking at this. And my eyes immediately go to the sleeves, and it's just so bright, and there's too much white on the sleeves. You can always say you can never have too much of a certain color. Well, yeah, you can. And this is a situation of that. Even though there's not that much white, it's still too much. And you could take a black and white piping and go around the bottom third of the white, and it would look a million times better. But it's just one of those things that it looks okay if the sleeves were different. That's all. Yeah.
And to clarify, I don't I know I said the tops for me, the top half is just like they kind of just flip the color. I'm not saying that as a negative. I love that. I love the top half of this jersey too. I mean, if you're talking from the elbow on the sleeves up, I love all of it. It's just like you said, the white on the sleeve is just so much. That's what draws you to it. So I just want to clarify. I do not mind the top half of the jersey. I think the whole jersey as itself looks good. It's just the sleeves are just too much.
Yeah.
So I just want to clarify that. It's just the bottom half of the sleeve. It really hurts this jersey. If they swap that, you're talking what, top 15, top 10 almost.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just that white. It's just way too much.
So for my 21, I have the Chicago Blackhawks, and I don't know. There's something about this jersey that I personally don't like, and it hardly looks like much of anything I've seen on the Blackhawks before, and I don't know. It's too dark. I'm used to seeing the Blackhawks wearing the red and white, and then their away jerseys, and then. Granted, they had the outdoor game with the black and white jerseys, and then they've had their heritage jerseys. I get it, but this is just, I don't know. It puts me off a little bit knowing it's a Blackhawks jersey and it's typically red and white, and there's so much black on the jersey. It doesn't look right. And even, I know it's an older logo. there's just something overall off about it for me.
No, I get it. To defend what the Hawks are trying to go for, the Blackhawks have had a black alternate jersey, back in the early 10s. You can talk about the late 2000s, early 10s. They did have a black jersey that was just an all black with the main chief head and stuff like that. This one, they didn't want to go full back to Stan Mikita days and all that, where it was more like a lot of striping down the middle and most of the jersey with this logo, because they were trying to go back to like the Stan Mikita, Bobby Hall, Keith Magnuson, stuff like that. They were trying to go back to those days, but they didn't want to have all the striping. So I see why they kind of try to simplify it a little bit with the old school logo, but have kind of like the top style of the white and the red and stuff like that. I get what you're saying, but the Blackhawks have had black jerseys other than, the when they played Boston in Notre Dame. But I get what you're saying. But we've had black jerseys before that have been pretty solid, in my opinion. So people are pretty half and half on the black jerseys, but I think these ones are pretty solid. But I'll get to that when we actually get to that part of where I have them. So for 21 for me is the Vancouver Canucks. They did go back to the grains like they used to have when they had red and blue and stuff like that. I don't mind these ones. They have the nice, the gradient blue to green. They have the nice V style logos and stuff like that. I see what they were trying to do. It's nice. They didn't go with the old, the hockey rink with the stick through it logo like they've done in the past. I think for me, if you're going to reverse retro, I mean, they have these as the alternates. I love the flying skate one that they have. If they kind of did that in some way, but like I said, they have that as an alternate. Like I said, this one isn't bad. It's just a middle of the road jersey. It's not super bad. It's not one I'd go out of my way for if I had to get it. I think it's a solid jersey. It's just, it's one of those middle of the road jerseys. You have nothing too bad to say about it, and you have nothing too good to say about it. So I think it's solid. 20, basically the same for both of us, is the Buffalo Sabres. Reason why I like the design of it, like the sleeve piping is really good. The bottom is really solid. The coloring is pretty cool. For me, it's just they've used. This is the thing that I really wish they would have gone to, and you might agree with me on this. Go back to the black, red, and silver Buffalo head logo. If they had this design, but in those colors with the Buffalo head, top 3 jersey. Yeah. Unfortunately, it's still the blue and yellow with the swords. That's about it.
Yeah. If they would have done the black and red with the old head, that would be great. For me, with this one of the big things that puts me off on this is the word Buffalo on the jersey, and it's at the bottom of the sweater. Like, why?
Yeah, I mean, that's a little much.
They've lost 18 in a row. Clearly, nobody's watching their game, so nobody cares about these jerseys right now. But it's one of those things. It just,
have they even worn these jerseys this year?
I have no idea. Probably, but no one cares.
Yeah,
it's another situation like the Ducks. You have an opportunity to go back to an old logo that a lot of people liked, and you don't do that.
Yeah, I mean, like, how do you not go to the Buffalo head? Like, that would have been perfect. Like, take out the word Buffalo, put the Buffalo head in the middle, switch the colors to the black, red, and silver, top 3 jersey. But unfortunately, they still went with the blue and yellow with the swords. Nothing. They've done that a lot, and the Buffalo at the bottom is so weird, and that random silver at the bottom of the jersey under the yellow piping.
Yeah.
That random gray makes no sense.
Yeah, it's not true.
It's like they just threw an extra color at the bottom just for like, oh, we can't make it white. Let's make gray. And you're like, why?
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. So for 19, I have the Winnipeg Jets. I actually like the colors of the jersey. I like the design, but go back to the old logo. Why this is a perfect opportunity to do that, and you don't. But other than that, the gray and the dark, like navy blue with a little bit of that light blue piping and stuff, I actually don't mind it. I like it quite a bit. It's just use use the old logo. Why you won't use the old logo is beyond me. And then on top of that, maybe there's a little too much gray in the body, but other than that, I like this overall, except the logo.
Well, that is the original logo to the extent. It's a variant of the old logo. Like they have like it's like this one and another one. I get what you're saying, but it's just the colors. If they went back to the old school colors, perfect. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
the gray. It's just maybe it's just how they captured the photo of the jersey. I guess maybe seeing it in person might be different, but the how they made the photo of this jersey makes it kind of looks off. Like it makes the gray look really wavy in the. Does that make sense? Or
yeah,
it's just the way they made it. Just looks weird. So 19, I have the New York Islanders. I get what you were saying earlier. It just looks like another Islanders jersey, but they just made it a darker blue. And I get it. For me, it's like the Penguins jersey. It's a clean design. The collar is a little bit different, and maybe the how they use the colors on the sleeves on the bottom, maybe it's a little bit bigger. Yeah, if they did this with the Fisherman logo, or maybe go back to like the teal color with the Fisherman logo, yeah, then we're talking. It's a different story. Yeah, it looks like a normal Islanders jersey, like we talked about the other ones before. But for whatever reason, this just looks so aesthetically pleasing to me, and I don't know why. It just looks good in my opinion. So yeah, but I get what you were saying, why you had them a lot lower. But for me, for like how I have the Penguins a lot farther up, it looks good.
Yeah, I think a lot of them.
Clean.
A lot of them for me, it's you have the reverse retro, and you're not really doing anything of doing a reverse retro. It's right. Hey, we're going to keep the exact same freaking jersey and just make it a different shade. But
yeah,
it is what it is.
Yeah, I get it. So for 18, I have the Washington Capitals jersey. Going back to the old school design they had when they had like Ulf Kozing, when they had, when they first got Alexander Ovechkin, have that, the striping, that diagonal striping down the front where it says Capitals. Unlike Buffalo, that actually does work. I like how they have. If you look at the shoulder patches on these ones, it's actually the old school Capitals jersey. Where they actually had the Capitol building with the sticks and stuff. I don't know if anyone caught those when they first came out, but that's what kind of drew to me was the shoulder patches were kind of like a throwback to those secondary logos that they have, but they have them also on the main front of the jerseys as well. I like these jerseys a lot. If they went back to the original colors of this jersey, I'm talking about the original Kolzing and if they went back with those colors instead of their usual red, white, and blue, I know why they did it because it's DC, USA. I get that. If they went back to those original colors, like we talked about with Buffalo and all that, then these would be so much higher on my list. But I like this jersey. Yeah. I think it's a very solid jersey. The attention to detail on the sleeves, just the diagonal of them, the shape, the capital lettering, but then also just the shoulder patches with that. They threw in those secondary logos that they had in the past before. The collar is super clean, and the fact that we went back to the old school font too for the letter and the numbers. Phenomenal jersey. I don't really have any. The only negative, like I said, go back to the original colors of these of these jerseys back then. A lot higher on my list, but I like them. Yeah. I have that's my only complaint. It's just the color.
Yeah, it immediately takes me back to seeing Ovechkin play in 2007, 2006. It's pretty cool. So for number 18, I have the Vancouver Canucks, and for me, looking at the jersey, I think it's pretty slick. The coloring in the background, the blue fading down to the green, is pretty sweet. The V on the sleeves is pretty cool. Mm-hmm. The lettering is what throws me off. I don't like how the lettering is compared to the rest of the jersey. The C for the captain, I know that's only on one jersey, but even the numbering, it doesn't look right at all.
Yeah. Looking at closer, I can agree. I kind of surprised I even noticed that before. Yeah, the fat lettering on the outside, and you have the really skinny inside, like font of the C and the numbers, and like you couldn't even tell that there's like even if you look at the numbers, you could barely even tell there's green inside the numbers. That's how small it is.
Yeah.
Like if you just made like a solid like made the outside one color and then just did like a piping around, like an outside pipe coloring around the number, like make the number white and do like the green on the outside or something different. Yeah, it looked really good. But yeah, looking at it, yeah, the numbering is just they could have done something a lot better with that numbering. It's just, yeah, it looks super off.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just one of the things. I think if they change the numbering, this could be a little bit better. But
it's just one of those small details. If you just tweak one thing, the jersey will look phenomenal.
Yeah, I agree. So for number 17, I have the Columbus Blue Jackets. I like it. Obviously, I have it right here. But compared to everybody else's and ranking them with all the other 30 teams, this is where this one sits for me. And I'm not a huge fan of it compared to everything else. Obviously, I'm a Blue Jackets fan. I have to get it. But for me, it seems like there's a little too much white on the sleeves. And it's still just weird seeing a red jersey for me with the Blue Jackets. It's like we were talking about the Blues earlier. You know, the Blues are known for blue and yellow, not a red jersey. For it's the Columbus Blue Jackets, it's a red jersey. Now, reverse retro, I like the red jersey. I like the concept. I like the design. Just for me, I don't know. There's just something off about it. And I can't really point to it directly. The reason why this is not lower is because they used the best logo that the Blue Jackets have had. And I absolutely love it. Yeah. So I would love to see another rendition of this jersey with that old CBJ logo in the future. Yeah. Big reason for me why this is number 17. The biggest reason is they used the alternate cannon logos on the shoulders instead of Stinger. If you would have used the old Stinger logo for your shoulder patches, this would be top 5.
Yeah.
But they didn't, and that sucks.
I'm just looking at this now, and I didn't even realize it. You look at the bottom of the sleeves, completely different. Or maybe it's just the way the person's right arm is angled. You look on the left sleeve. If anyone's watching the YouTube version of this, you'll see what I'm talking about.
So
the left sleeve.
If you look at it, and again, this is the YouTube version, so I'm literally showing Zach my reverse retro jersey for the Blue Jackets right now.
Oh, okay, I see.
You can see it's just a little blue stripe, and then on the other side it's red. It doesn't go all the way around.
Okay, what about the left sleeve? Does it do the same thing?
It's the exact same thing.
Oh, okay, because the way I look at this picture, like they threw me off. I'm like, is it two different like collar differences? I'm like, if that's the case, I really messed up where I put this one.
No, but for me, it doesn't go all the way around.
Okay, I was just thrown off. For me, I do have this higher on my list. Yeah, I kind of look past the white because it's a different look. For me, what really sold me on the jackets, why I have them higher than 17, is because of the CBJ. It's really nice. I like how the CBJ, how they brought that back, and I like how they had like the stars on the collar was really cool. And yeah, maybe the white is a little bit much. It's we talk about two-tone sleeve designs, but kind of like it's almost like an old school military uniform with the stars at the bottom of the collar or on the bottom of the wrist and stuff like that, and like how the sleeve goes into it. I don't know. For me, it's just somehow it just works, and I can't really explain why it does for me. But I know for you, it's like, yeah, it's too much white and it's red. The red is off, but I kind of look to the fact that they kind of added in, it matches the CBJ where it's red.
Yeah.
So I can kind of see why they did that, because it's kind of like it is your like third. Would you say like it's like your third color or your second color for you guys?
What the red would probably be our third color in my opinion.
Okay. So, I mean, it kind of fits why they kind of did that. And I think it's a little bit different because you didn't go with the normal blue or white and stuff like that. You want to do something different. There's some jerseys I can see where the red would work. The blues, you really can't do that because, they're blue. For the jackets, you guys have the red. And like you have the red in the CB logo, the original logo. For me, it just works because you have the nice little tie into the logo. So that's
yep.
Yeah. So my 17 is the Calgary Flames Blasty jersey. These things are just super clean, super nice. It's not the typical the Flaming Sea logo and stuff like that. They brought Blasty back. They did a really good job. I think, the piping on the front and the sleeves, you got the two-tone V look. It's very nice. They didn't do anything too crazy with the collar. It's all black all around. If they did maybe like a two-tone, if they did if they had like the piping on the collar, like how they do on the jersey, where it's like that yellow red, make it like a little bit smaller to fit the collar, or maybe do just have like a yellow around the top. Maybe it'd be a little bit different, but overall, I think that these jerseys, the ones before this one are kind of hard for me to move it up a little bit farther, but overall, I really like the Calgary jerseys. They're really nice. Just the piping and the black jersey plus the Blasty logo, it just looks phenomenal.
Yeah, I love the logo is amazing. That's one of my favorite logos. That's an alternate or considered an alternate logo in the entire league. And I'm glad they brought that back. I love those jerseys.
Yeah, they're phenomenal. So for 16, I have the Boston Bruins. When we were talking back earlier, the only difference I would have is just change the logo, make it like I said before, Adam Oates era, kind of Cam Neely in the back end of his career, have that bear on the front. This would be higher on my list. But that's the one thing I changed. It's just the bear, use a bear head on the front, or the old school, or the more classic B when they were the brown and yellow Boston Bruins and the black and yellow Boston Bruins.
Yep.
That's my only take, is just do it different instead of the pinwheel.
Yeah.
Do something a little bit different. Other than that, the rest of this jersey is perfect.
So my 16, I have the New York Rangers. I love the Lady Liberty they brought back.
Yep.
My thing is the jersey overall feels a little bland because there's not that much red. It's just a lot of blue, a little bit of red, and then the logo. I enjoy the jerseys. I like them quite a bit.
Yeah.
But if they would have a little bit more red design, even if there was red piping around the shoulders or down at the bottom of the sleeves, or at the bottom of the torso portion, this would be higher. It just there's not to me, it almost feels like you get the Red Wings jersey and just throw a different logo on it. And
or maybe like do like make the collar red or something. I get what you're saying. It's just like, because if you remember the original Statue of Liberty, the Liberty head jerseys that they had back when it was like the Richter days, maybe a little bit closer to that, a little bit after that, they did have a little bit more design to those. And I agree. Like, if you add a little bit more red and white, maybe at the bottom of the jersey, or maybe make the wrist, or I would say if you had to add the color to one place to make this better, hit it on the collar with a red, then I think you're good to go.
Yeah, that would be a lot better.
Yeah. It's just, because I don't know if they have anything on the, I don't know if they have anything on the shoulders. If they did have some on the shoulders, maybe the Rangers logo just to make it pop. But yeah, it's just, they had like maybe just a red collar, or maybe did something on the bottom of the torso, just one little extra spot of red. Or I don't think the white kind of throw it off. You just hit a little bit of more red on the collar or the bottom of the jersey, then it'd be a lot higher. But
boom.
Yeah.
So for 15, I have, just kidding. You're going to have to come back to part 2 to see that. We are going to have part 2 come out next week, and we will touch the top 15 jerseys and see which ones Zach and I like the most and which ones are number 1. But Zach, I think for the most part, we agree with our bottom 16.
Yeah, I would say we're pretty close. I think the ones that I would say probably different between the both of us was probably Pittsburgh and what was it? There was another one too. I said it was kind of an egregious pick. I know Pittsburgh was one. I forget the other one now.
Well, other than the Blackhawks, obviously.
The Blackhawks did. I mean, I get the Blackhawks one. That one, I'm not really upset about. I think the Pittsburgh one. There was another one that you picked. I was kind of like, I don't know about that, but honestly, No, I think we were pretty close on a lot of the other ones. We did match on a few. So,
Yeah.
But overall, I think it was a good, overall 16 to start off. But like Alex said, this will end part 1 of our show. Wait for next week for part 2. But you can catch me at CLE Zach on Twitter. You can catch Alex at _CBJ. You can catch our podcast at Cannon Hawks Pod. Click the link tree. You can find where you can find our podcast on all social medias. We are now on Spreaker, and we're going to be on iHeartRadio. So make sure to check those out as well. And also go check out our sponsors, Pure Hockey, Spy Optic, and Romeo's Pizza of Columbus. And then go check out bellyupsports.com, find all the articles from all the different sports and also all the other podcasts under the network as well. Until next time, Alex, what are we all about here at the Cans and Tomahawks podcast?
It is beer, food, and hockey.
See you guys next week.
Thank you for listening to the Cannons and Tomahawks podcast, presented by Belly Up Sports. Beer, food, and hockey.